So it's 11 a.m. now. So we would like to start. Thank you so much for joining and a very warm welcome to our webinar. We have actually people joining in from different time zones. We have people coming in from Bangladesh, India, Pakistan, Myanmar, Indonesia, Vietnam, and many other countries as well. So depending on where you are right now, a very good morning, a good afternoon, or a good evening. Good evening. So the title of our webinar today is Bridging Borders, Exploring Job Opportunities and Career Change in Japan. Aside from myself, there are two other speakers, Mrs. Nao Suzuki and also Ms. Lily. Before we start, if you have any questions during the presentation, you may put your questions into the chat box and we will answer it during the Q&A session, which will occur at the end of the presentation. So moving on to the agenda. So first, we will explain about Japan job hunting, its custom, flow, and the differences with other Asian countries. It will then be followed by Japan or job hunting method as a foreigner in Japan. And also job hunting tips and tricks. And lastly, the explanation of how to use RISE4 will be shown and also some of the available job vacancies. Moving on to, I would like to introduce Miss Lily. The beautiful lady you see on the screen here is in the Overseas Recruitment Division of Rise for Career. She's an Indonesian and also a Muslim. Miss Lily, the floor is all yours.
Okay, thank you very much, Sakura-san, for introducing me. Hello, everyone. My name is Laili Rafirdausi. You can call me Laili. I am from Indonesia and currently working in Rise for Career from Wilta Company in Osaka. And for Indonesian fellows out there, if you have any question during the presentation, you can also inputting your question in Bahasa Indonesia in the chat box. Hi. Okay, let us begin. So here I will tell you about Japanese job hunting, the real situation in Japan, and also some of that might coming from my own experience. So here we need to understand the customs, the flow, and the differences of Japanese job hunting compared to the other Asian countries. First of all, here I would like to talk about the features of job hunting in Japan. The first one, there is a thing called a simultaneous job hunting here. And what they mean by that is that many companies in Japan commence their recruitment activities with the same schedule. We will actually talk about this, the flow and details later. And the next is simultaneous recruitment of new graduates. So the employment of the people who recently graduated from uni and who are seeking employment for the first time is called this simultaneous recruitment of new graduates. So companies commence their recruitment activities while the students are still studying at school. So maybe like third year or fourth year. And this pattern is actually a different pattern with the mid-career recruitment. So the new grads, the fresh grads, are not going to compete with those who already have skills and experience when doing the job hunting. Then would be the culture of joining the company in April. So April is actually like the start of the fiscal year in Japan. So university students are also like generally start their studies in April and then study about 4 years and graduate in March. Then they will join a company and begin working on April 1st, which is like immediately a month after their graduation. And the last feature would be potentially based recruitment. This means hiring personnel based on their like potential of growth after joining the company, not before joining the company. And this actually will later be explained by another presenter, Ms. Suzuki, so please stay tuned. Hi. Okay, let's take a look at this slide. So this would be the most common job hunting schedule in Japan. So as I said previously, students usually do the job hunting while they were on the third year or the fourth year of college. And the companies also start accepting application from March, and then the selection will begin on July, commonly. So let us starting by understanding the normal schedule. You can take a look at the orange part. So here on July, there usually would be a company briefing session or like a seminar about the specific company, so that the applicant will have a clear understanding about the company they will going to apply. And this period is also the application submission and aptitude test period. So a lot of Japanese companies are using aptitude tests to know whether the candidate like has the personality to fit with the company or the position or not. And then after the document selection period, the next month around August, there will be an interview period and the written test for some of the position. So if you're wondering about the written test, some companies actually have a like general knowledge test or essays for the applicant. But however, for foreign nationalities, this usually not performed, not applied. So you guys don't need to mind about these written tests. And then during that exact time, the company is also giving what is called professional job offer for those who pass the selection. Well, the official job offer will be usually be sent from October. And now let's take a look for the schedule for those who want to start early. So this usually recommend to the international student, because international students tend to have like less information, and then they became to like start the job hunting later than the Japanese student. While this is actually like what they need to pay attention to, because the key of successfully finding employment in Japan for especially international student is to start early and be prepared and gather the information. So those who want to start early, you can join the company briefing session and submit the application on March, which actually right after the company starting accepting the application, also around April. And then the reason is so that you can have like more options. And if you even if you failed in some of the selection, you can still apply, and you still have a lot of time until the rest of the year. Then starting the interviews, written tests, a bit earlier than the normal schedule, which is around June. Again, so that even if you failed, there would be another chance for you to try on. And then getting the professional job offer. Here, those who already have the professional job offer just need to wait until the official job offer will be sent on October and forward. They just need to wait until April next year to join the company. However, the students that have not been hired by October 1st, also the companies that have not been able to hire students by that time, can continue the job hunting activities and recruitment activities, usually until the January the next year. But this whole thing is like a common schedule for the new graduate recruitment. So if you guys are on your middle career, or you guys have some experience in working, do not worry, because the mid-career recruitment schedule are kind of like irregular. So it does not have a specific schedule. Uh, it's more like based on the niche of each company, so you can apply the whole year. And also, an increasing number of companies, mostly foreign companies and IT companies, are also offering a year-round recruitment where they hire throughout the year. And this increasing trend is actually expected to continue. So be at ease. Hi. Okay, to sum up, here would be the flow of Japanese job hunting. The first one is the company briefing session. So you usually need to apply for joining the company briefing session by doing what is called pre-entry. So please be informed by, you can use internet and anything to know the information. And there are some types of company briefing actually. That is independent one, and the next is a joint briefing session. So the independent company briefing is usually held by a single company, and you will listen to the detailed explanation of that company only. However, the joint briefing session will be held by many companies. Thus, you can use that opportunities to compare the companies and also the vacancies across various industries. There is also a seminars or open seminars that is usually held by companies and local government for the students who are studying job hunting. Then, after you hear about the company and the details about the company and the job vacancies they have, and if you feel interested with the position, you can apply, and then the CV or Rirekisho screening will begin. So why did we put the word Rirekisho here? Because you are encouraged to apply with the Japanese format in Japanese as well. The picture here would be like the illustration of the Rirekisho format in Japanese. English CV is actually not really recommended because English is not common in Japan. So if the recruiter who saw your CV have no knowledge of Japanese, your CV might be immediately considered as unpassed or even unread until the whole selection process. Even if you are do not have like high capability or in Japanese, you can just write your CV in Japanese, and then after you write those, you can ask your Japanese friend or those who are good at Japanese to look over the completed form. So if you are attending Japanese university, you can also ask the career center in the uni to check if there are any mistakes with your Japanese character maybe, or the Japanese expression you might have inputted. In this Rireki show, you will also need to write the reasons for applying the job and the self-promotion, or kind of like self-branding or bragging about yourself. And then you can actually take a look at our article about how to write a CV. Please hold on a second. I will put the link in the chat box. Hold on a second. Okay, you can refer to that article. And then, okay, let me continue. So those who pass the document selection will do the interviews. The interview usually take like 2 or 3 times. You can also do the interview in more than like one company. Just the one thing that you need to be pay attention to is be careful by the time management, so that the interview would not be clashed to each other, like the schedule. And then later, there would be an explanation also about what to prepare for the interview. So just stay tuned. And then after you pass the final interview selection, you will get what it's called a naite, or a job offer from the company. And you might get actually more than one job offer, and it is actually okay to choose one you think fit you the best, and you can just reject the rest. However, please do it with respect and to not offend anybody. And this would be the flow of Japanese job hunting. After that, you can just wait for the time to join the company. And for us, foreign residents, usually the spare time is used or can be used for the visa application. Okay, so next, moving to the differences with other country. Let's compare the job hunting starting period first. Here in Japan, job hunting starts on July, and the hired candidate will be joining the company on the next April. However, in the other countries, in Bangladesh, Indonesia, and Vietnam here, the job hunting can be started anytime all over the year based on each company needs. And then actually in Japan, they start do the job hunting since they were in university, but I don't know in another country, but in Indonesia, they do the job hunting after the graduation, because the graduation certificate is important for the job hunting activities. And the next is the selection time. So in Japan, it takes about 3 months or even more, with the fastest and the smoothest, I guess, would be like 1 month. But that's kind of like a rare situation. While in Bangladesh and Vietnam, it usually take around 2 weeks, 2 months, and in Indonesia, there's even more like some vacancies that the selection only take a week until 3 weeks or less than a month. Then moving to the importance of major relevancy. So in Japan, there are actually many jobs which any major can apply. So what you were studying in university is not really matters. For example, you study economy in university, but you wanted to be a gymnastic teacher. That would totally be okay here in Japan. However, this does not apply like 100% for foreigner, since in the visa application, the Japan government will consider the relevancy of your past study or skill with the job that you hired in. And then here in Bangladesh and Vietnam, there are also many jobs which any major can apply. But in Indonesia, most people can only apply to jobs relevant to their major, since it will be written in the application requirement as well. The next, the importance of the experience. So as we have talked before, there are two recruitment patterns in Japan. That is the new graduate recruitment and experienced recruitment. So in the new grads recruitment, the applicant are not like expected to have skill nor experience. They will not be in the same selection with those with experience. They will not compete with those with experience. And it appears to be the same in Bangladesh, but different in Indonesia and Vietnam, where those with more experience is more prioritized to be hired. Therefore, these new grads need like intern experience to be like having a higher chance to be hired. Then would be the importance of having high GPA. So as you can see here, in the three countries, or maybe in your country as well, those with higher GPA is prioritized to be hired. Meanwhile, here in Japan, the GPA is not really matter. Like it is more important to have the willingness, the motivation, good personality, and communication skill rather than high GPA. In Japanese CV or Reiki show as well, there is no need to put your GPA, and the company is also has no need to know about the applicant GPA. So it's more about the personality. Next. Okay, so let me explain a little about the job hunting method as a foreigner in Japan, and maybe you can use some of this. Here we divide some that can be done online, which means you can do it from your home country, and some that can only be done if you are residing in Japan. So let's go from the first option, that is just using the job hunting site. So this job hunting site usually have a kind of like bulk application feature. So this bulk application feature also allows you to search for companies according to the type of industry, decide occupation, and Japanese level, and etc. And this also can like make you able to start the application for multiple companies and multiple vacancies at once. And this kind of bulk application feature can also be done in our Rise for Career website. You can look for many vacancies from many companies, which make you also comparing, like make you able to compare one vacancies to the other. We will actually explain about our site later at the end of this presentation. So please stay tuned until the end. And the next would be from the website of each companies. So if you have a Japanese company that you are interested in, you can actually go directly to their website, and there is usually an option called recruitment information or Sayo Joho in Japanese. So you can just click to that button, the recruitment information button, to know what vacancies they having right now, and you can apply directly to the companies like that. But usually you will need like to join the company briefing session first after you do the pre-entry. The next would be participate in briefing sessions or job fairs. So briefing sessions, job fairs, seminars can be conducted online or offline, depends on the organizer. And actually in my case, I found the vacancy like I'm working right now from online job fair, and then proceed with the whole selection, interview, and everything while I was in Indonesia. And actually, many companies now organize these opportunities online, so please be informed. Check any like information on job searching website and everywhere around the internet. You can also look up to our Rise for Career event as well, because we also hold online company briefing session a lot of time. We actually have one event in the next month. We will explain a little about this later. And for those who are participating in offline or like on-site job fairs, you need to pay attention about your outfit. Usually they need to wear suits, and pay attention as well to your manner. Do not forget to bring your memo pad or something to write with. And then since offline job fairs are usually in a big venue, do not forget as well to bring the map of the venue so you can easily get to the booth of the company that has taken your interest. And the companies will be handing information materials like leaflet and everything as well. So be sure to bring that home so you can read that again later on. The next two, however, can only be done in Japan. The first one is from Hello Work. So Hello Work is a government public employment service. They provide employment counseling, and the location are on each prefecture in Japan. This mainly used in Japanese, but there are some prefecture actually that support foreign language as well. It actually varies by region, so you can check on your own regional Hello Work, and you can consult by phone or in person there. The last would be Employment Service Center or Career Center for foreigner or international student. So Japan has an employment service center for foreigner, and the services are provision of employment information, counseling and job placement, and also internship. The location are in Tokyo, Osaka, Nagoya, and Fukuoka, and they are available in English as well. You can consult by phone or in person. I will put the URL in the chat box in case you need them. Please hold on a second. Okay, you can look up for it later. Let's keep going. The last would be a career center. So in Japanese university, they usually a career center. If you're studying abroad in Japan, by any chance, you might want to look up for this place. They will provide you with job fair information and info about consultation and how to do job hunting and etc. Okay, and that would be all from me as the first presenter. Next, we'll be heading to the job hunting tips and trick that will be brought by our second presenter, Miss Nao Suzuki. Miss Suzuki is actually our recruiter and chief manager in Rise for Career. She has lived in Vietnam for 5 years as a Japanese teacher. The next presentation will be held in Japanese and will be translated in English by Sakura-san. So, Miss Suzuki, the floor is yours.
はい、皆さん、はじめまして。ライズフォーキャリア責任者の鈴木と申します。今日は皆さんに日本の就活で成功するためのヒントやアドバイスをいくつかお伝えしたいと思います。よろしくお願いいたします。
Hello, my name is Suzuki from Rise for Career. It is a pleasure to meet you all. Today, I would like to talk about Japan job hunting and also present some tips and tricks for successful job hunting.
はい、まずはじめに日本で働くメリットについてお話ししたいと思います。はい、
So first of all, I would like to talk about the advantages of working in Japan.
はい、まず安心安全です。世界的に見ても日本は治安が良くて犯罪率が低い国として知られています。はい、
So number one point is security or safety. Right? Japan is known worldwide as a country with good public safety and low crime rates.
雇用が守られている。犯罪を犯したり、勤務態度が極端に悪い場合を除いて、会社からクビになることはまずありません。はい。
Right. The second point is employment in Japan is very strongly protected, with exceptions for committing some kind of crimes or having like extremely poor work attitudes. There you won't be fired.
はい。日本はチームワークを重視しています。周囲と連携して業務を行うことの重要さを学ぶことができます。はい。
Right. The third one is teamwork. Japan places a high value and importance on teamwork. So you can learn the importance of working in cooperation with those around you to accomplish tasks. はい。
勉強の機会ですね。実際の業務の中で使われる生きた日本語や日本の文化、日本独特のビジネス文化や働き方を学ぶことができます。はい。
The fourth one is study opportunities. You can learn real Japanese, we would like to say, or like Japanese culture. It's unique Japanese business culture and work styles that are actually used in the workplace.
日本は礼儀正しく相手に失礼のないよう丁寧な行動をするのが、日本の文化の特徴の一つです。はい。
The fifth one is politeness. Being polite and behaving politely without being rude to others is one of the defining characters of the Japanese culture.
はい。次に、日本の就職活動の特徴をご紹介します。はい。
Now I will introduce the characteristics of job hunting in Japan.
はい。新卒一括採用です。先ほどライリーさんも言っていた通り、日本では大学3年生の6月から就職活動をスタートさせて、翌年の4月に卒業と同時に、新卒社員が一斉に入社します。日本に留学している外国人はこの制度を知らずに、就活に出遅れてしまうケースがよくあります。留学する場合は、就活を始める時期にぜひ注意してください。はい。
The first one is mass hiring of new graduates. So as Riley-san has mentioned earlier, in Japan, job hunting starts from June of the third year of university and new graduates in mass in April of the following year upon graduation. Foreigners studying in Japan often miss this system and end up being late for job hunting. So if you're studying abroad, be careful about the timing to start your job search.
はい。次、日本では就職後の成長力を見越して採用を決定するポテンシャル採用というのも特徴的です。就職する時の能力は、それほど重要視されずに、仕事をしながら、大きく成長することが期待されていますので、人物面が重要とされています。でも、外国人エンジニアの場合は、基本的に即戦力としての活躍を求められていますので、技術や知識を第一にアピールすることはもちろん、重要ですけれども、努力する姿勢とか、ポジティブな考え方、コミュニケーションスキルなど、人物面でのアピールもすることで、経験や専門性がちょっと足りなくても採用してもらえる可能性は十分あります。はい。
The second point is potential-based hiring. In Japan, there is also characteristics of hiring based on potential, anticipating growth after employment. So abilities at the time of hiring are not highly valued as significant growth while working is expected. So personal qualities are emphasized. However, in the case of foreign engineers, they're generally expected to perform as immediate contributors. So while it's necessary to appeal primarily with technical skills and knowledge, showing qualities such as effort, a positive attitude, and communication skills can increase the chances of being hired, even if lacking slightly in expertise.
最後、協調性ですね。日本企業の多くはチームプレーを大切にしています。そのため、周囲と協力できる協調性のある人が求められています。チームワークを活かした経験とか、仕事のやり方において、私はチームワークを重視します。といったような考え方をアピールするといいと思います。はい。
The third point is emphasis on cooperation. So many Japanese companies value teamwork. Therefore, individuals who can cooperate with others are sought after. It is good to appeal with experiences that demonstrate teamwork or a mindset that values teamwork.
ここからは日本の就活で成功するためのヒントとコツをお伝えします。
I will now provide some tips and tricks for successes in Japan job hunting.
一つ目は、日本企業が外国人に求めていることを知ることです。はい。
The first thing is to know what Japanese companies are looking for in foreigners.
まず、専門性ですね。エンジニアとしての専門性は非常に期待されています。日本では理系の人材の採用がとても難しくなっているので、外国人エンジニアの需要は非常に高まっています。はい。
So one is expertise or specialization. So specialization as an engineer is expected due to the increasing difficulty in recruiting talent in scientific fields in Japan. The demand for foreign engineers is very high.
次、日本語能力です。日本では英語が話せる人が少なくて、日本語で仕事をする必要がどうしてもあります。そのため、最低でも日本語能力試験の N3 レベルは必要とされています。特に会話能力を頑張って練習してほしいと思います。
The second is Japanese language proficiency. So fewer people speak English in Japan, so it's very necessary to work in Japanese. Therefore, at least JLPT N3 level is required. Especially, you should focus on improving conversational skills.
次、バイタリティ、向上心、若さです。日本では少子高齢化が進んでいますので、若くて意欲のある人を求めています。
Another point is vitality, ambition, and usefulness. As Japan is facing an aging population, they are looking for young and ambitious individuals.
はい。最後、会社の事業分野や技術、チームの目標、価値観に交換してくれるということです。先ほどの人物重視のポテンシャル採用ともつながりますが、企業の研究をしっかりすることで、その企業に本当に入社したいというやる気と熱意を伝えることができます。そのためですね、会社についてしっかり調べて、自分の志望動機と結びつけて、私はこの会社に合っています。貢献できますとアピールすることはとても有効な方法です。はい。
Another point is being able to empathize with the company's business field, its technology, its team goals and values. So this is also related to the previously mentioned potential-based hiring focused on personal attributes. By thoroughly researching the company, you can convey your genuine motivation and enthusiasm to join it. Therefore, researching the company well, connecting it with your motivation and appealing with statements like, I'm a good fit for this company and I can contribute are very effective methods.
2つ目は、日本式を知るということです。応募や面接の方法について日本式で行うことで、この人は日本のことをよくわかっているな、この人なら安心できるな、というように、高い評価を得ることができますので、ぜひ知ってほしいです。はい。
The second point is to understand the Japanese style. By conducting applications and interviews in a Japanese style, you can earn high evaluations such as this person understands the Japanese culture well, and this person can be trusted. Therefore, it's important to know about it.
まず、日本語で応募することです。英語で応募メッセージを送る人たくさんいるんですけど、これは絶対にやめた方がいいです。英語が全くできない採用担当者も多いので、CV を見ることなく見送りになってしまいます。まず面接してもらうには、日本語で応募メッセージを送るようにしましょう。はい。
One is applying in Japanese. Some people send application messages in English, but it's strongly advised to avoid this. Since many hiring managers cannot speak English at all, they might dismiss your application without even looking at your CV. Moreover, by doing this, you might be judged as someone with low language proficiency.
はい。次、日本式のフォーマットの履歴書、職務経歴書を作成することです。これはライリーさんが先ほど話した通り、Rise for Career のウェブサイトで詳しく紹介していますので、ぜひ参考にしてください。はい。
The second point is creating resumes and CVs in the Japanese format. So as Riley-san had said before, unlike the rest of the world, Japan has its own established CV format. So you can download this format for the internet, and the Rise for Career website also provides information on how to write resumes and CVs for engineers, along with samples and important points. So please refer to it.
はい。次、マナーを守ることです。日本ではマナーを守れる人かどうかというのはとても重要な評価判断基準とされています。これからお伝えするマナーについて最低でも守るようにしましょう。はい。
The third point is observing manners. So in Japan, whether or not a person can observe manners is considered a very important evaluation criterion. So please make sure to observe at least the following manners.
はい。まず企業からのメッセージはすぐに返信をして、締め切りは必ず守ってください。はい。
The first is responding promptly to messages from companies and always meeting deadlines.
はい。面接の日程変更は原則 NG です。相手が自分のために調整してくれた予定を変更するのは、相手に失礼というところがあります。はい。
Right. Changing interview schedules is generally not accepted. It's considered very rude to change plans that the other party has adjusted specifically for you.
はい。次、時間を守ることです。日本では、時間を守ることが非常に重要と考えられていますので、5分前行動という習慣があります。面接は5分前に入室するようにしましょう。はい。
Another point is punctuality is highly valued in Japan, and there's a custom of acting 5 minutes early. So you should aim to enter the interview room 5 minutes before the scheduled time. はい。
最後、ウェブ面接の環境を整えてください。面接当日に相手の時間を無駄にしてしまうことのないように、面接の前までにマイク、カメラ、スピーカー、インターネット状況のチェックをしてください。シンプルなバーチャル背景を設定するようにしてください。また、後ろにちょっと友達とか家族がよく映る人いるんですけれども、あまり礼儀正しい印象がありません。あと、服装もフォーマルな服を着てください。白いシャツが一番いいと思います。
はい。Another point is preparing your environment for the web interviews. So to avoid wasting the other party's time on the day of the interview, you should check your microphone, camera, speaker, and internet connection before the interview day. You should set up a simple virtual background. Also, having like friends or family members visible in the background is not ideal. And you should dress formally. A white shirt is the best choice.
はい。次、3つ目は合格しやすい人の特徴を知るということです。はい。
Right. The third point is to understand the characteristics of people who are likely to succeed. はい。
はい。まず、日本語能力が高いことです。専門性ももちろん大切ですけれども、先ほども言ったように、日本ではどうしても日本語で仕事をする必要があります。なので、外国人採用の場合、まず日本語能力が高い人から採用されていきます。はい。
はい。One is high Japanese language proficiency. So while specialization is important, as mentioned earlier, it's necessary to work in Japanese in Japan. In the case of hiring foreigners, those with high Japanese language proficiency are prioritized.
はい。次、履歴書、職務経歴書がしっかり書けていることですね。情報が、詳細でミスが少なくて、魅力的な書類を書ける人は、入社後にもきっちりいい働きができるというイメージが持てます。また、書類がしっかり書けていると、面接のチャンスは格段に増えます。はい。
Another point is well-written resumes and CVs. So people who can write detailed, error-free, and attractive documents are perceived as individuals who can work well after joining the company. This increases the chance of getting an interview highly.
はい。あと、自己紹介が簡潔にまとまっていることです。自己紹介は面接の一番最初にするので、印象を決める大事な部分です。あれもこれも言いたくて、自己紹介がとても長い人が、よくいるんですが、2、3分ほどで自分の経験やいいところを簡潔に話せる人は好印象です。あと、笑顔でコミュニケーションできる人も印象がいいですね。はい。
Another point is concise self-introduction. Some people tend to have very long self-introduction, wanting to say everything, but it can be tiring to listen to. So people who can concisely talk about their experiences and strengths in 2 to 3 minutes leave a good impression, and those who can communicate with a smile are also well perceived.
はい。と、何かしら日本に関する経験を持っていることです。例えば日本に行ったことがあるとか、日系企業で働いたことがある、日本に家族や親戚、友達がいるなどですね。何かしら日本に関する経験を持っている人は、ある程度日本のことを知っていて、カルチャーショックなどの心配が少ないため、企業は安心して採用できます。海外現地に住んでいる人は、例えば日系企業のインターンシップに参加するとか、ネットで日本人の友達を作ったりすることも有効な手段だと思います。はい。
Another point is having some form of experiences related to Japan. So people who have some experiences related to Japan, such as having been to Japan or worked for a Japanese company or having family, relatives, or friends in Japan, are considered to have some knowledge about Japan and are less likely to worry about cultural shock. So this makes companies feel more comfortable in hiring them. So for those living abroad, participating in internships at Japanese companies or making Japanese friends online can be effective.
最後ですね、自分の仕事の経験、スキルについて具体的に分かりやすく専門用語を使って説明できる。これとても大切です。皆さん、それぞれの国で経験を持っていると思いますが、それを日本語の専門用語を使って説明できるというのは非常に大きなポイントです。なぜなら、日本企業としてはその人がいくら能力が高くても、技術に関する専門用語がわからなければ、一緒に働くのは難しいと感じてしまうからです。反対に、日本語の専門用語を使ってしっかりと、これまでの経験やスキルを説明することができる人は、安心感とともに非常に高く評価されます。はい。
The last point is, and this is a very important point, the ability to explain their work experiences and skills clearly and specifically using specialized terminology. Everyone has experiences in their respective countries, but being able to explain them using Japanese specialized terminology is a significant point. This is because even if a person has high capabilities, Japanese companies may find it difficult to work with them if they don't understand technical jargon. Conversely, people who can clearly explain their experiences and skills using Japanese specialized terminology are highly valued with a sense of reassurance.
では、よく使う専門用語の例を見てみましょう。はい、次のページですね。これらは面接の中でもよく出てくる単語なので、聞いてわかることはもちろん、日本語で言えるように準備しておきましょう。はい。
Right. So let's take a look at some of the commonly used technical terms. These are words that often come out during interviews. So it's important to not only understand them, but also be able to say them in Japanese.
はい。あと、カタカナの発音にも注意が必要です。日本語のカタカナ発音は英語の発音とかなり違うので、外国人の面接で伝わらないことがよくあります。はい。
Right. And also, please know the pronunciation of katakana. Japanese katakana pronunciation is quite different from English pronunciation, so it's common for foreign candidates to have difficulty conveying their message during interviews.
はい。例えば、オートキャドという、ソフトがありますが、日本語で私が発音します。その後、さくらさんが英語で発音してください。オートキャドですね。はい。
So for example, there is a software called AutoCAD. So she has pronounced it in katakana. I will now say the English. So the katakana pronunciation was, as she mentioned, AutoCAD. In English, this is AutoCAD.
はい。ぜひ日本語のカタカナ発音も勉強してください。はい。
So please study the katakana pronunciation in Japanese.
はい。4つ目は、日本企業が外国人を採用して困っている事例を知ることです。実際に困っている事例を知って、皆さんぜひ対策してください。はい。
The fourth point is to understand the situations or instances where Japanese companies struggle with hiring foreigners. It's important to be aware of these instances and to take measures to address them.
はい。まず一つ目、できるの基準が違うことです。よく面接で何々はできますかという質問がありますが、皆さん自己 PR のためにできます。全然問題ありません。と答えることありますよね。実は日本では誰にも負けないぐらい非常に高いレベルの人しかできるとは言いません。それで外国人の面接でできるという言葉を聞いて採用して、実際に仕事をしてみたら全然できなかったということは全然珍しくありません。そのため、何をどのぐらいできるのか、具体的にしっかり伝えることが重要です。はい。
Okay, so number one is different standards of capability. During interviews, there are often questions like, can you do this? And many candidates tend to respond with confidence, saying, yes, absolutely, no problem. However, in Japan, only individuals with an exceptionally high level of ability would say, I can do it with such confidence. Therefore, it's not uncommon for companies to hire foreigners based on their affirmative and confident responses during interviews, only to find out later that they cannot actually perform the test as well. Hence, it's crucial to clearly communicate what you can do and what you can do to an extent.
はい。次、早期離職です。日本では長く会社に貢献してくれる人を求める傾向があります。なので、外国人の場合、 すぐ、帰国する予定がないかなど心配する企業も多いです。そのため、長く日本で働く意思がある人は、そのことを PR するとポイントが高いです。はい。
Right. Another point is early resignation. So in Japan, there's a tendency to seek individuals who will contribute to the company for a long time. Concerns about foreigners leaving soon, such as returning to their home country, are common among companies. Therefore, expressing the intention to work in a Japanese company for a long time can earn you very good points. Phrases like, I want to work for more than 5 years, or I'm considering obtaining permanent residency can also make companies more inclined towards.
はい。次、よく理解してないけど、なんとなくわかりましたと言ってしまうことですね。外国語でのコミュニケーションなので、仕事の指示がなんとなくしか理解できない時もあると思います。そんな時よく確認せずに、自分で考えてやってしまうことで、指示と全然違う結果になってしまったっていうことも本当に多いです。そのため、今のはこういう意味でしょうか？何々ということで合っていますでしょうか？もう一度言っていただけませんか？など、聞き返しができる人は非常に、安心感があって高評価です。日本は聞くことは恥ずかしくない、聞かずに失敗することが最も恥ずかしいとよく言われていますので、不安な時はどんどん聞くようにしましょう。
Right. Another common problem is saying I understand without fully understanding. So communication in a foreign language can sometimes lead to incomplete understanding of instructions. In such cases, there's a tendency for individuals to say I understand without fully grasping the content. This often results in outcomes that differ significantly from the instruction. Therefore, individuals who can ask for clarification, such as, did you mean this? Does it mean this? Or is this correct? Are highly valued. In Japan, it's often said it's not embarrassing to ask questions. It's more embarrassing to fail without even asking. So don't hesitate to ask when you're uncertain about anything.
はい。それは面接の時も同じです。はい。
This is also the same case when you're giving an interview. So if you're uncertain about any question about the question the interviewer has asked, please do not feel embarrassed. Ask them for clarification.
はい。最後、希望とのミスマッチです。実際に入社したら思っていた仕事と違った、聞いていた給料と違ったということは、外国人の最も多い転職理由の一つです。外国語での面接なので、日本企業側もしっかり仕事内容や待遇を伝える努力をね、もっと必要だと感じていますが、少なくとも応募するときは求人票をちゃんと、見ましょう。で、せっかく頑張って就活して入社できたのに、すぐまた転職活動するのはとても大変だし、時間ももったいないと思います。はい。
Right. Another common trouble is mismatch between expectation. So one of the most common reasons for foreigners to change job is finding out that the actual job differs from what they had expected, or that the salary is different from what they had heard. Since interviews are conducted in a foreign language, Japanese companies feel the need to make more effort to clearly communicate job responsibilities and conditions. However, at the very least, make sure to carefully review the job postings before applying. It's a waste of time and effort to go through the job hunting process, get hired, and then start looking for another job immediately. はい。
はい。最後ですね。5つ目は面接の準備をしっかりすることです。日本の面接にはある程度決まった型があります。ここに書いてあることは大体聞かれる質問なので、しっかり準備して日本語でたくさん練習してください。はい。
The fifth and final point is to prepare thoroughly for the interview. Japanese interviews generally follow a certain format. The questions written here are typically asked, so please prepare well and practice a lot in Japanese. With this,
はい。以上で私からの話は終わります。皆さんの就職活動がうまくいくよう心から応援しています。ありがとうございました。Thank you very much.
so my part of the conversation comes to an end here. I sincerely wish you all the best in your job search. Thank you very much once again. ありがとうございました。
Thank you so much for the wonderful presentation, Suzuki-san, and thank you so much for interpreting, Sakura-san. The next we will be heading to our Rise for Career introduction and how to use it to get a job in Japan. The presenter will be Miss Takahashi Sakura. Sakura-san is actually our Bangladeshi member that is half Japanese and half Bangladesh. She is in charge in Bangladesh marketing in Rise for Career. Sakura-san, the stage is yours.
Thank you, Ms. Lily, for the wonderful introduction. So now I would like to start to explain what Rise for a Career is. So what exactly is Rise for a Career? Let us explain a little bit about our job searching platform. So Rise for a Career is a free job searching platform and hiring platform intended for engineers who want to work in Japan. There are two sections in Rise for, as you can see on the screen. One is Rise for Business and one is Rise for Career. So Rise for Business is used by companies or employers who provide jobs to engineers. And Rise for Career is designed for foreign engineers who want to work in Japan. Our platform is not only meant for those who are currently residing in Japan, but are also for foreign residents, engineers who want to work in Japan while staying in other Asian countries. So please take a look at our platform. All right. So as you can see on the screen here, we have over 100 companies currently and over 230 jobs. And also we have over 31,000 registrants. And also we have 120 successful number of job offers. Right. So who is our target? Who is recommended to use and register to our service? They are those who have Japanese ability. Here we put N1 to N5 proficiency, with N5 being the highest level. Everyone, even those who are still learning Japanese, can use our platform and search for the vacancies matched with their level. Our target would be those who major in IT, mechanical, electrical, or civil engineers who reside either in Japan or overseas. But we have also other jobs as well in the field that we have mentioned. Give me one moment. Yes. Okay. So I would like to mention all of our services are free. You can find a job, apply, or you can get scouted. And also you can reach out to us if you have any problems or inquiries. You can also participate in events conducted by us or enjoy our blog contents, which is mainly talking about how to live in Japan, its culture, its work culture, and how to build your career in Japan. So here you can see on the screen, these are some of the online and offline events we have done. So please join them if it's possible. So this is the flow of our services in short. First, you can register by email. Then if you want to find a job, you can finish your profile or CV making directly and then directly apply for the job. Or you might have a chance to get scouted by company who saw your profile. The next step will be online interviews, and job offer will be given if you pass. If you want to participate in any event, you can simply search for the event, apply or register to it, and then attend the event on the D-Day. So this is a registration page. You can scan the barcode here, or you can go to the link. The link is provided by Ms. Lyle in the chat box. I will give you a moment here if you want to register now. Right, I think we can move on. The next slide would be, so this would be the display for job searching in our site. You can choose your specialization, input your Japanese level, and search based on your conditions. So the next is how to apply. If you want to apply for a job, you will be shown this screen. You can simply click the apply button, check the details if you have correctly input all your information, And if you want to informally put any messages to the employer, like, hi, nice to meet you, this is me and this, but this is like entirely informal. You can put some messages and then click the apply button again. Yes. So as you can see, there are like 3 advantages from using our services or website. The first is direct. You can directly apply for jobs or directly even get scouted by Japanese companies. The second is event. You can attend various events focusing on work in Japan as an engineer, and you can also get recommendations based on your profile. The third one is CV making. So some of you might know that Japanese CV format is a bit different from overseas. I think we have discussed this a bit before. So here we will help you to make a neat Japanese CV by inputting your data, and we can customize it and help you with it. And once again, I would like to mention there is like no fee. Absolutely, it's like free of cost for all the services that we provide. Right, as you can see on the screen here, these are some of the job vacancies we have right now. You can take a moment to look at this. Number one is robot system developer. The annual income is around 5 to 6.5 million yen. It's based in Osaka, and the minimum requirements for Japanese proficiency is N3. We have also IT engineers, software developer, construction management engineer. These are all the vacancies, some of the vacancies we have right now. So please do take a look once you're done. And Lily-san has again put all the links to these job vacancies in the chat box. If you're interested, please do take a look. All right, so I would like to mention another thing. Next month, on the 30th of March, we have an online job fair. So wherever you are, whether you're in Bangladesh, Indonesia, Malaysia, you can apply, you can participate in this event and apply for jobs. So please do take a look, and Lily-san will also, I think, provide the link. Yes, she has provided the link in the chat box. Right. So these are some of the people who has used our websites and who has got job offers. These are like some of their reviews. So let's read some of them. On the right, I see, got my first job in Japan within a month of discovering this site. Okay, good for you. Number and quality of job listings on this site is much more than all I've seen so far combined. Thank you for the free CV generator and fast hiring process. Thank you too. Another I would like to read is, thanks to Rise for Career, I was able to find a new job quickly. When I received a job offer and thought about whether I should accept it or not, he didn't force me to choose the job I wanted. This is a company that provides convenient and good service. Right, so moving on. So as you can see, we are on social media. These are some of our socials. We post job vacancies daily, so be sure to follow and stay tuned. And Lily-san has again put all of the links to our YouTube, our Facebook accounts, and our Instagram and LinkedIn. Or you can just scan it here with your phone now. And also, we have many Facebook accounts for Rise for, like, for each individual countries, like Bangladesh, Malaysia, Vietnam, we have different Facebook accounts. So please be sure to like them. And that would bring us to the end of our session. Thank you so much for your interest and attention.